soul, goddammit. Snatch his soul. Look at that thing. Look at that demon. Look at that demon. Woo! Gap that ass. Gap him. Snatch that soul. Snatch his soul. 1013 versus 1025. Snatch his soul. That's right. Snatch that soul, baby. Bring that soul to the altar of Mopar. Got so many souls to snatch and so little time.
Your brother's soul is mine. You will be next.
Okay, so we got the McLaren 10S versus the Dodge Demon in gray. One more time. Yeah, those demons are no joke, man.
Well, looks like we're gonna try a rematch here.
Yeah, let's actually both take off at the same goddamn time, please. Come on.
Get that McLaren off the starting line a little bit quicker than it did last time.
The majority of these foreign import supercars, these things aren't doing better in that quarter than 10.5 typically. You know? You try that shit against a Tesla, you're gonna lose.
Stage up, ready to go. Dodge to the right hand side.
Uh-oh, that demon jumped. Whoa! Soul snatch! You got gapped! You got gapped, McLaren. How about that gap? 1007, 1007, and 1043. You got your ass gapped. You got gapped. That's right. We're gapping people out here. So, are we going to see a Charger wide-body Hellcat? Are we going to see a Charger REDEYE equivalent? Are we ever going to see a Demon equivalent? You know, I have to say, the lead-in to me actually talking about this, I had to run those clips again because I tell you, I've watched those two videos about this call-out that I just went to. I've watched these two videos about 50 goddamn times. I can't stop watching them. It's like even some of the editing techniques that I put in, some of the things that I did all of it on my iPhone, by the way. It was just so hilarious. I've been watching these videos in the bathroom. I've been watching them at bed at night before I go to sleep with a smile on my face. I've been watching them as soon as I wake up. I have to say, like, it was the most amazing experience that I've ever had going to like a public event like that. And I want to see more. And the thing about it is, like, you got all these people who are trying to say that demonology was driving a modified demon. Well, let's say, for example, let's say for a second that his demon was modified, which it wasn't. When he heard, oh yeah, well, my demon's modified, this dude went and he got Tunnel Chase's demon and he did the exact same shit, minus a little bit of time, but he gapped people. Gapped them. He gaptized them like he was a reverend. Gaptized them. And I'm standing there in the crowd. I'm shouting at the top of my lungs. I couldn't believe the shit that I was seeing. Now, the thing about it is, I've said this before, I'm not a Challenger person. Like, some people love the retro look of a Challenger. I never liked the retro looks. I mean, I think it's an amazing machine in a Challenger. I think it's absolutely amazing. I could see myself in a wide body model, but I'm not a Challenger person. I like four doors, and that's just what it is. I'm a New Yorker here in New York. Everything's got four doors. It's like, even if you got like an SUV, you got four doors. And I would love to see a Charger Hellcat wide body. Now, some people are like, oh, gee, are we ever going to see a Demon Charger or anything? Well, I really don't think a Demon Charger, per se Demon, I don't think that makes any sense, considering the fact that they had to shave so much weight off the Demon. They put off over 200 pounds. The car comes without insulation in the back. It comes with a removable seat and all that. I don't see them putting out a Demon Charger. I just don't see it. Like, they could surprise me and they could say, yeah, haha, we've had one waiting to release all along. Ha ha ha, we got you all fooled. Ha. Yeah, they could do that. But all of these pictures that I've seen, I haven't seen anything that's conclusive, like this picture right here and this picture right here. That's not conclusive to me, because I've seen the same situation where everybody went all this hype because they saw big, fat, wide drag radials on a Chrysler 300, and then come to find out that stupid Chrysler, in fact, that's the picture right there. Come to find out, stupid Chrysler decides that what we're going to do over at FCA is we're going to get rid of Chrysler. We're going to get rid of the cool 300. We're not going to give it a Hellcat. We're not going to give it a Demon. So basically, they shot themselves in the foot. So when I saw this picture, I was like, wait a minute, wait. This, to me, looks like all they're doing is somebody is driving around with these tires. And I guess the other thing that probably threw people off is the fact that it has a Michigan plate. Just because it has a Michigan plate doesn't mean it's FCA actually testing a new car. But now you've got FCA come out and say, yeah, we're abandoning the Chrysler 300, which is the stupidest fucking move that they've made since getting rid of the Dodge Magnum, which they should have kept around, because if they had had the Magnum, they would have had a low to the ground fucking wagon where people who want to have that extra space for all their tools and stuff, they would have had it. So they got rid of the wagon. They got rid of the, and that was a cool wagon. Everybody who has a Magnum loves that car because they can do so much with it. See, the thing about it is the short-sighted CEOs, when they got rid of that car, they were, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll just make up for it with the Dodge, Journey, and we'll make up for it with the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yeah. And we'll make up for it with the Cherokee. Thing about it is, those are all like SUVs. There are people who don't want to have the high off the ground. They don't want to have to be that high off the ground. They want to be like, when I had my 300, sometimes to have fun, I'm being snow and there's nobody around, I spin the fucking car around in circles. In fact, I made a video like that where I was just spinning the car around in circles on ice and snow. And it was fun. You can't do that shit in no SUV. You'll tip yourself over. You'll land on your head. And I'm like, what the hell is going on over there? Like, here you got the LX platform. The LX, I don't want to drop my fucking Calypso coolers here, because, you know, I have to make these videos when I'm drunk, so that this way you get the best of me. But anyway, I'm like, you have the LX platform. The LX platform is paid for. You're selling a $30,000 car. The Demon, the Hellcat, you're selling a $30,000 car for $70,000. You're raping people on parts. Like, the rotors are $1,000 a piece. The rear rotor's like $400 a piece. So you're selling a $30,000 car for damn near $100,000 plus with that Demon. And even with the Jeep Grand Cherokee, you put a supercharger, and God knows how much it costs you to even get those parts. You put a supercharger into a regular Jeep Grand Cherokee, and now you're selling the damn thing. And it looks regular, by the way, because you didn't give it the Hellcat hood. But you're selling these cheap cars for over $70,000. The LX platform is basically paid for. There's nothing left to recoup. Why the hell are you trying to force yourselves to build something that the target audience doesn't want? Understand something. That's the mistake that Cadillac made. That's why I was upset with the wagon. That's why I was upset with the CTS-V. They only put in 650 horsepower because they were basically trying to downsize their engines, right? They are busy chasing Nürburgring lap times. Nobody knows where the fuck the Nürburgring is. And even if somebody challenges you, like these idiots on my channel, talking about the Exorcist, they're talking about the Camaro Exorcist, and they're trying to like, oh yeah, Demonology, he did well, but if you put slicks on that McLaren, oh, it'll do so much better. I'm like, yeah, well, if you could figure out a way to make that thing run nines, then maybe you'd have a point, but it hasn't happened. And my thing that bothers me is like these people, these little kids who play video games like Forza, they jump online talking shit because, oh, wait a minute, how did that car beat it? The Demon can't beat it. I was playing Forza last night. The Demon, there's no way you can beat the McLaren. You can't do that. You can't do that. And these guys are all over my channel. I have to go back and forth to my channel just to see all the stupid shit that these idiots are typing about tracks and about what would happen if, oh yeah, well, if you put the demon on the street, oh yeah, well, you'll beat him then if you put the demon on the street. I'm like, hey, idiots, we go to a drag strip so that we're not having to be forced to race in dangerous conditions. And these morons, oh yeah, well, if you were on Erlesheim or if you were on the Nürburgring, oh yeah, the McLaren, it would have easily tore you. And I'm like, who do you think is shipping up a car, and who's going to pack up their car and fly it all the way to freaking Germany just to drive around some track they don't even know where it is? It's like, you guys are crazy. Like, I enjoy picking on you because your arguments are stupid, but it's like, some of you dudes are just ridiculous. Oh, so he says, thank God a YouTuber that speaks the truth. I will follow this channel for life. Well, thank you. Got to approve that comment. I don't know why that comment got held for review, but no, but I mean, some of these people with these stupid comments, it's just amazing the shit that these guys are typing. And then I made this video just so I could remind everybody who was trying to accuse demonology of having a modded demon that, number one, not only did he get into Tunnel Chase's demon and kick that ass, but on top of that, Dodge itself told us that this thing was running 9.65. Now, I've deviated far off the point because I have to say, these Calypso coolers, if you get two of these in you, it makes your speeches even better. But let me tell you something. The Charger Hellcat weighs 4,575 pounds. Challenger Hellcat weighs about 4,448 pounds. So everybody's, oh yeah, well, it's a boat. It's a boat. It's a big old boat. You can't turn in that. Well, it turns out that if I get you on a drag strip or even a regular street race, I don't have to turn at all, and you're going to lose. And I'm going to run, what was that beautiful number that he said? 9.65. 9.65. Get that through your heads, you Forza and you Need for Speed watching losers and you Fast and Furious nuts who think all that shit is a documentary. It's not. So anyway, get that through your heads. So the demon weighs more than 200 pounds less than the regular Challenger, which is like 4,448 pounds before you put in a typical, 200-pound driver. Actually, probably more, because if you've seen the size of some of these guys buying SRTs, we are not small people. We're fucking morbidly obese. We're Americans. We're not Europeans. That's why all that Fiat shit that you're shipping over here, we don't want any of it. We're going to let it sit right on those lots and rot, period. So my thing is, FCA doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. If they want to build a Challenger wide body, that sounds awesome. And in fact, there's a picture here of a wide body Challenger. Where is it? There's a Charger. I'm sorry, Charger wide body. Because, sometimes I get those two words confused. And wait, where is it? There's a Charger wide body. And the thing about it is, if they build that car would be awesome. Just because it looks different than the regular one. It's got that wide body kit. And I want to remind you of something. This wide body, all that is the Chrysler 300. If you really look at the lines for this thing, all it really is the Chrysler 300 with the Dodge door. Like, if you look at what the current Chrysler 300, like if you look at the 300 SRT, you see it right away. All this, and now see, this was like one of the SRTs we were promised, but then we ended up only seeing that thing go over to Dubai and Australia. But no, all the Charger wide body is, and see, this is the brilliance of what FCA has right now. They've got a fucking 4,500-pound car that goes, what's that magic number? What's that beautiful number? What was it again? What was that beautiful? I gotta keep reminding these losers who watch me and they're just giving me thumbs down because they're angry and butthurt that their favorite Italian cars are losing. 9.65. So basically, they've got a car that weighs 4,500 pounds. 4,500 pounds and runs, what's that beautiful number again? 9.65. Goddamn. That's insane. We don't care about turning. Nobody's turning at 150 miles an hour. Like when those cars are crossing that quarter mile time, it's like they're doing 140 miles plus. You can't turn at 140 miles an hour. There is no track where you can do that. Not here. Like, where do you even go for a track like that? You think I'm shipping my car over to freaking Australia? Of course not. So stop playing Forza and thinking you know every goddamn thing, because you don't. So anyway, the wide body charger kit is basically this right here. This is exactly what you're buying. And I also want to remind you of something. The Jeep SRT is basically the wide body version. What is it? Jeep GC, right? I'll just type GC. Yeah, the regular Jeep Grand Cherokee has those flat sides just like this, but the SRT models have the rounded out shoulder haunches like that. So basically, the Jeep Grand Cherokee that I have, the SRT, is basically a wide body version of this. So FCA has, I mean, they couldn't be doing better. I mean, you think about it. They've got a platform that's already paid off. The Jeep Grand Cherokee with the air suspension runs perfectly. They've got about, what is it? They got like 20 different versions of Jeep Grand Cherokee. They've got like 20 different versions of Challengers. It's like, you've got money in the bank. You don't have to reinvent anything. Now, what you do need to do is fix this goddamn Trackhawk and put this HELLCAT, or I'll tell you what, you could surprise me. You could make me really happy. Instead of putting the HELLCAT hood on this Jeep, you people could put the Demon hood on this Jeep. Now, if you did that shit and you put the Demon hood on this Jeep, well, then I'd have to shut the hell up entirely. But until you do that, I'm afraid that your silly little yellow calipers and your ugly ass wheels and your lack of a HELLCAT hood, I'm afraid that you're not going to entice me with that. I'm sorry. You're going to have to do a little bit better. And these people like, oh yeah, well you could just buy it yourself. You can have it fabricated. Man, have you seen some of these hoods people put on their cars? Them shits have gaps and shit. And when I say gaps, I'm talking about gaps like the gap that we saw at that race the other day. I mean, they have these gaps between the panels. I don't want none of that. I don't want to have to put something on my car that I can't trust. When I was driving down to Pennsylvania, I was doing 150 at certain points when I didn't see any cops around. I don't want to take a risk of a hood flying up and hitting the front of my goddamn windshield. I'm not taking that risk. And by the way, I know you're going to say I'm throwing shade, but I honestly don't like mods. I really don't. And the reason why is because you never know when your car might burst into flames because you put mods in your car. Now, those mods could be anything. Those mods could be twin turbos in a Lamborghini. Those mods could be, I don't know, a tuned up Dodge Challenger would burst into flames. I don't know. But what I'm going to say is I don't like mods. If anything goes wrong with my Jeep right now, all I got to do is drive that bastard right back to Chrysler and say, hey, guess what? I'm still under warranty. You got to fix this shit. I don't hear any bullshit. It's like, oh, okay, yes, sir. Here, you can borrow this Chrysler Pacifica while we're fixing your Jeep. And that's it. I don't want to hear any bullshit. Now, I know there's people who, oh, yeah, well, I prefer built, not bought. Okay, so when you kill yourself, like, in fact, who's the last person that got into a car accident? Some dude was driving around the other day and got themselves in a fatal car accident. I forget what the person's name was, but the problem is, you think that you can tune up a Honda Civic and you can just drive that thing ruckshod around? You can't. Oh, here it is right here. You know, no offense, but the thing about it is, you can't race on these streets when you're driving in cars that are modded and untested. You can't do that shit. When I get on the highway and I'm doing 100 plus, I feel safe. You know why? Because I know that that car has been tested and approved and certified. You can't fuck around in these cars like this. Honda Civics, you can't do that. You can't do that. And especially because it's a Honda. Anytime a Honda goes faster than 50 miles per hour, you're risking somebody's life. But what I'm talking about is these mods and your car bursts into flames. I don't want that. I don't want that. So I've deviated again because I like deviating, and I have to say this Calypso cooler, this is some good shit. So anyway, let me just say it like this. The Challenger Demon doesn't make much sense. It just doesn't make much sense. And the reason why is because it's got 4 doors. Now, if you're going to, you can't shave off the doors, obviously. The Demon's only got 2 doors. They give you that car with nothing in it. Like, the Charger comes with 19 pieces of speakers, right? Just like my 300, just like my Jeep. They only give you like 2 speakers in the Demon. Now, you can add a subwoofer, but that's about it. They give you 2 speakers. So they've already shaved off like what? Like 10 or 20 pounds or something like that. They don't give you a seat. They don't give you a rear seat. The people who got the rear seat padding for the rear seat, they take that out too. And this way they shave off another 10 pounds or something like that. The Charger Demon doesn't make sense. So I don't believe that they're going to make a Charger Demon. Would I like to see a Charger Demon? Because I saw a picture that somebody posted where they just put a Demon hood on a Charger. And I saw that shit and I was like, well, goddamn. And then they put these wheels like that. I'm like, wow, that's pretty damn cool. You know, if Chrysler made that right there, oh yeah, they'd sell. So that would be a wide body. Somebody put a wide body kit and then they put like Demon styled replica tires. And then they put this hood on there. I would never even race this thing because I'd just drive it around bus stops just to show off. I would never race this thing. But that's a pretty damn good look. Now, if somebody were to build that, hell fucking yeah, it would sell. Hell yeah. To make it look just like this Demon. You know, that Demon that gap-tizes like these foreign cars like McLarens and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd love to see them build something like this. I'd love to see it. Now, granted, you could buy your own Charger Hellcat. You could buy it new, you could buy it used, and you could buy your own hood for about $1,000. You could do that. But I don't trust aftermarket parts, and I certainly don't trust them if they come shipped from Russia overnight. I really don't trust those things. I don't trust them. Now, some people buy it and they're like, oh yeah, I've never had a problem. Yeah, well, you know what? Me personally, I would be the person who had the problem. So no, I don't want that. So are we going to see a wide-body Charger? I hope we see a wide-body Charger. I would love to see a wide-body Charger. I'd love to see a Charger Demon. In fact, I'm very disappointed at Chrysler for not releasing a Dodge Demon Challenger and releasing a Charger Demon. But again, the Charger Demon kind of doesn't make sense because its inherent extra doors and all that adds more weight that you really don't want. And even the Challenger itself, because it's so long and it has all that extra mass in it in order to make sure it doesn't twist. I mean, you know, that too has a lot of extra weight that some people, you know, people complain, oh, yeah, well, it's a boat. It's a boat. If it was more like carbon fiber, like my McLaren and my Forza 6 that I purchased with DLC, oh yeah, it would be great then. But they don't make that DLC yet. Because, you know, you'll have no idea what you're talking about except for what you play on fucking Xbox. Now, see, people like me, we're actually, you know, driving these cars in real life daily. But, you know, so arguing with you is kind of a moot point. But all I gotta say is, listen, if they're gonna make a Charger wide-body Hellcat, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. In fact, it'll damn near be worth buying again. But my problem is that Chrysler, right now, they haven't said anything. They haven't said, oh, we're making this, we're making that, we're making the other. They haven't said anything. Like that. I mean, they haven't said anything. What I did hear was that the Jeep is going to be continued as is till 2020, and then 2021 will be the new model that we see. So that'll be nice. And I don't know how they're going to change it that much, because right now the Jeep Grand Cherokee is basically one of the best looking SUVs you can buy. That and the Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer looks good. It's slow as shit, but it looks good. I mean, it's fast if you're racing against a 4-cylinder, but you know, it's slow. So anyway, I would love to see the 300 continued, but Chrysler has basically given up on all of us with the 300. I don't know. They said that they only sold like 15% with all-wheel drive V8s and everything, but instead of actually, you know, advertising the product, they just decided to just cancel shit left and right without advertising. And that brings me to my last point. Demonology has done more for the Demon. Demonology has done more for the Demon than Chrysler has, in my opinion. He has advertised the hell out of that thing by gap-tizing even the likes of McLarens, gap-tizing them. And I would like to see FCA, Chrysler, I would like to see them reaching out to people like Tunnel Chaser, to people like Demonology, to people like anybody else who I know who has a Hellcat, to people like me, to advertise how big and spacious the Jeep is. It's like, who's at FCA that's totally ignoring the YouTubers? It's like they haven't invited us to anything. They haven't asked us to advertise anything. Like, for instance, these tire companies. If you run their tires and they've got their name on the side of your tires, that's perfect advertising. Because, I mean, what better advertising? Yeah, well, my tire right here was on his car when it gap-tized that McLaren. It's like, that's excellent advertising. I'd like to see these car companies taking a more active role to include YouTubers in a way that allows YouTubers to give them advertisement. And what kills me is that I get offers all the time from Chinese companies. I've got some products coming in the mail that they want me to advertise for them. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. If the Chinese companies are coming after me and asking me, like, I got a Chinese company right now that's about to send me a beer refrigerator, like, that cools beer, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. If the Chinese companies can do all of that, well, why aren't the American companies coming to us and offering us stuff? Like, why aren't they offering us tires, and why aren't they offering us, like, radar detectors and stuff like that? So my thing is, you know what? Now that I have an idea, well, maybe I should put it into action. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe if you are a YouTuber and you do these kind of videos and you're racing Hellcats and stuff like that, and even if you're racing them slow-ass Mustangs and them slow-ass Corvettes and them slow-ass Cadillacs, you should write a letter and tell the companies that you use their products. You should tell them and say, listen, you know what? If you give me some tires or something, I'll race for you. And you can slap your name on my car and I'll advertise your product. Like, it seems to me that if these Chinese companies can offer me wires for my iPhone, they can offer me USB drives, and they can offer me refrigerators and shit, it seems to me that the American companies should be doing the same thing. And the more I think about it, I'm like, well, wait a minute. It feels like the American companies are ignoring people like me. Meanwhile, these foreign companies are actually coming for me and asking me to do stuff and giving me free shit to advertise. So that's just a thought, and I know I'm going to carry that thought a little bit further. But, I just think that, FCA has been too silent, and that's something that kills companies. Like, I remember when Sega was going under, Sega poorly advertised in America because Sega of Japan, they just didn't have their finger on the pulse of the American consumer, and they kept trying to throw shit at us, but they never really advertised well. And I'm like, well, these American car companies, they could be doing a lot better if they actually advertise their product. I mean, some people don't realize you can buy a Dodge Charger with all-wheel drive. Some people don't realize you can buy a Dodge Challenger with all-wheel drive. Some people don't realize that the Jeep Grand Cherokees offer a Trackhawk. There's people who don't even know that the Trackhawk exists because those idiots didn't put the Hellcat hood on it. Okay, fine. But my thing is, you got to advertise this stuff. Advertising is everything, So my thing is, if you don't want to do it yourself, you should come to people just like me, people just like Demonology, people who have these cars and people who are racing these cars. And you should come to us and you should say, you know what? We'll give you parts and you advertise the product. Because I'll tell you, I'm fairly certain that after this race right here, I'm fairly certain that there's a lot of people out there who have a lot of money and they say, you know what, I think I was going to get a McLaren, but I want something fast. So I'm going to go get me a Dodge Demon.